I'm basing my evaluation of the total cost on concrete work performed for other projects that we have under construction. Just kind of knowing the cost of a truck of concrete and the labor to pipe the rebar and excavate the footings and that kind of thing. I actually expected this one came in right about at what I expected. His pricing thus far for the change order 3 for the removing the concrete and filling in the void in the alley was actually less than I expected. But I agree with you that John would probably, since we've already discussed the pricing, once or twice now, asking him for a quantities breakdown now, he might feel, a little bit shocked by. But as an owner, it's definitely not an unreasonable ask.
Well, here's the thing. I don't want to create, even though, let's put it this way, even though I know I'm right, this may not be the right, smartest move. But I would, I just like, well, how many cubic yards of concrete you got, and how many, so that I can back off and say, yeah, like you looking at it and saying, that sounds reasonable. I don't know how many cubic yards of concrete are there. And I suppose I could take it off, but he's a contractor. I don't know why he would have a problem with saying that.
That's what I was.
How did he arrive at his number? It's not unreasonable to ask that. I don't know what to say other than I feel like we should just accept it. But what I'm really gonna look for is for you guys to keep him honest and to protect us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you guys think if you're gonna recommend that that's a fair value, we will move appropriately.
It'd be a good learning experience for the new person.
Now, it's not the end of the world. I mean, honestly, it's not, but it is just a little higher than I thought it might be, but hell, there might be a lot more work than I think there is there.
I'm sorry, I really.
So were you in there when he had the footer dug for that?
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
you know the area.
Yeah, really, it would be looking at your drawings and saying, well, how many cubic yards of concrete, how much form work you got? It's really doing an independent estimate.
So obviously, however you like, just do.
Well, and what I'm looking to you, Emery, for is if you think it's a fair number and you're willing to recommend it as a fair number, I'm just saying, but I don't know how you can determine that without having some sort of quantity or some sort of analysis. And this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about when we get to the second stage, when we continue with the different phases of this.
And so on that note, and I haven't got to tell him this, Emery, the way John is proceeding, and we will clarify this Tuesday at our next OAC meeting, we feel like phase 2 is gonna be tear off the roof, put on the new roof. That our phase 1 is actually gonna be the shoring and the leveling and most of the member replacement.
Put on a new roof on the southwest portion or the entire new roof?
The south portion.
Okay, very good.
Reframing.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. I mean, I'm just trying, if we just get a big number on that again, we're gonna be right back where we're at. So really, I'm looking for you guys to, I trust your judgment, I really do, Emery, but I don't know how you can do that without convincing your, I don't mean splitting hairs, but without some sort of independent estimate. Because he has no competition, there's nothing.
Well, I think we got our answer. She said that this, tell me if I'm wrong, Emery, but I thought I heard you say that you felt like this bulletin, his estimate on this bulletin came in exactly, or right at what you expected. We haven't got his full estimate on bulletin 2, And right now, the numbers that he's provided seem lower than what she expected. So I think we've gotten,
We do, but I'm wondering on what was the basis of your expectation? Did you do any quantities, or did you just kind of do a gut look?
My expectation was based on a gut check, relative to other projects where we're having footings and concrete work done.
But in your judgment, based on your gut checks, do you think that's, you'd still kind of feel like that's okay? And I'm not trying to be flippant here, because if you say, yeah, really, my gut check, I think it's a fair number, and you recommend it, we will absolutely go with that.
Yes, I do feel like it's a fair number. I was
Okay,
actually, when we started talking about these, responding to these conditions, both inside and immediately outside that west corner of the basement, I was actually nervous about the cost coming in total higher. So I did feel like these were fairly priced.
all right, well then let's do that, but be thinking about what we might do when we get the phase 2 numbers.
maybe Emery, maybe for like bulletin 2, he hasn't given us his estimate on that. Maybe we could ask him to break that down more thoroughly so that Bob, you have that data to provide that independent estimate, and then it can address.
Yeah, and it's not
prevent
just
this
for
in the
me,
future.
it's so that you guys are satisfied that his numbers are fair, you know?
Yes, and when we took a look at his initial pricing at our OAC meeting, not this week, but last, I pointed out, I was like, hey, do these numbers for the bulletin 2, does it include, all of your fill material? Does it include the plastic sheet? So I did at least already verbally bring that up and say,
Yeah.
hey, I want to make sure that your pricing for that one is complete. So yeah, we can definitely, Teresa and I can request hey, pricing for bulletin 2 instead of just a lump total, can you send us an email and kind of break it down and say, I'm taking this much for labor, this much for fill, this much for, other materials.
Yeah, and maybe with some rough quantities, but just enough to give you a feel. I'm looking for something maybe a little more than just a gut check, but short of, I don't know, I have no idea how many cubic yards of concrete, or I don't know what that ICS board costs, I don't know how many square feet, but,
Okay, I have 18 minutes to finish the rest of my work with you guys before public meeting, so
you know what I'm feeling?
how would y'all like me?
I'm feeling like I'm feeling like I'm out of line to be going down this line of
Bob, it's your
questions.
job. It's your job to be fiscally responsible,
Okay,
and
all
I
right.
appreciate
I don't want to,
that.
because you two are the last people whose toes I want to step.
No. But I'd like to, I mean,
We are not fiscally responsible.
you are fiscally irresponsible, Mike.
All right, well, I just want to make sure I'm not bugging you, but I want to let you know that we're gonna look for you to keep him honest and protect us from paying too much, I guess.
Robert's rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Okay, so are you guys okay with?
Yeah, I think if you would send us something saying you recommend that it be approved.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, if you'll send, so that email, Emery, that Chris just sent, asking, or John sent, can we proceed? And I said, let me talk to the commissioners before. If you'll send me that you approve, or you recommend the approval of this change order for bulletin, change order 2 for bulletin 1, then I'll reply back with the commissioners. So,
Make sure you guys are gonna be.
Okay, and Teresa, can you tell us again which email thread?
Yep.
Because there's a few email threads that have regarding change order 2 and pay application 3 that are kind of being handled at the same time.
okay, I can get you that after this meeting. I'll email it to you real quick.
Okay.
Okay, and so, thank you,
Thank you,
appreciate
Emma.
your spontaneous, availability.
Yes, productive
No
discussion.
problem.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay, so, So, do y'all need to officially vote on that? It's not a change in the budget, cause we had the contingency as part of the budget,
To
or do you
approve
want?
the payment on that?
To approve
To
that bulletin one
approve-
change, it's whatever change order that is.
Right,
Okay,
change order 2, which, is bulletin 1, and you will have to sign
If you need
that.
us to say it right now so that you can get him turned loose.
I just wanna know if y'all are okay with me turning them loose, because
Turn
you'll
him
have to,
loose,
you'll
yeah.
have to
I would agree with
prove it.
that.
Okay,
And what I'm glad we did is now we're gonna get, High Plains will have their recommendations, and so we're following the recommendations of our architect, so.
okay. And he's not claiming this on his pay app or anything yet, so it's,
Oh.
Yeah, and we don't
It's
wanna
not
hold it
been-
up.
okay. Alright, so then,
Yes,
where
certainly.
were we?
Yeah.
The
Okay,
eighth is, just a second.
It's this Monday.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gone, I'm here, yeah, okay, I'm here.
Okay, put it in your calendars, 3 o'clock,
3 o'clock,
3
public
o'clock,
meeting.
Public meeting, yeah.
And when you do that, when you copy, whatever you send that to, copy Justina.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll copy all of y'all. Ben said that this would work.
All right, very good, thank you for moving forward with that.
Okay, so for pay app 3, which has been approved as of yesterday by Emory, I am awaiting invoices from John because I asked him for invoices to support certain expenses in his pay apps, and he was a little hesitant to give them to me. So he said, I would like to see in writing from your grantors, so I provided that to him. I communicated with both grantors, sent him all that information, so he's gathering those invoices. But I wanted you to know I am holding his pay app 3 that's been approved by the architects until I receive the invoices that I need for my grantors. And I asked him for those on the 15th.
Okay.
So he's had plenty of time, so if he gets upset about the delay in his pay app, it's on him, it's not on us. I just wanted you guys to know that. The concrete was gonna get poured Thursday or Friday, but they didn't bring the long hose to get it in there, so it got delayed till this Monday, so we got a little backed up because, the concrete has to set a certain number of days before they can proceed. But they did get it done Monday, and it looks really good. I was in there, yesterday, with the builder risk fellow. So they have to have an inspector that comes out and assesses the situation, takes pictures. So I had a great, unfortunately I was there for like 2.5 hours with him, but I think it may be really productive because what he saw and what he's gonna submit, his report, is that, so he feels like they'll probably pay for the dehumidifier and the mold treatment in the basement and the cleanup of the water, the labor, and then the drain. He feels like those are all very fair. But he also is gonna try to put bulletin 2 to fix the slab, the void under the slab, cause he got to see where there was a wall there, and then all of a sudden, because we're doing this construction, the flood water filled up the higher footer. So he is going to ask for bulletin 2 to be covered by our builder's risk. If they approve that, he may, he said, let's just see if they approve that. If they approve that, this is a huge deal. They may approve securing the door and the window to the boiler room because flood water got in there. So I felt like it was really
That is
worth
excellent.
my time
And
with
he
him.
wouldn't bring it up if, he's the one that, he must feel that that is a classic builder's risk thing.
Yeah, and we had bulletin 2. I forwarded him that bulletin with the architect's specs and everything. It has exactly what our structural engineer recommends with how to repair the wall, close the, use the ICFs to close the windows, for what fill that we recommend to put in there. I mean, he said ideally we really should put a concrete parking lot back there with this level of slab, and I'm like, we're not asking for that, that's the developer's job. What we're trying to do is secure the building envelope. And he goes, I think that's a fair ask. We can't, he said, I'm gonna put it in your request because I think it's fair, and they can't say yes if you don't ask.
Well,
So-
that's excellent.
So we may really, that whole flood may have been very divine intervention and help us really achieve our bigger goal of, securing the building envelope.
Very good, good work.
So I'll keep you posted on that. I really liked him. The other thing I found out that I was not happy about, and I may do this on my own time because I feel sort of betrayed.
Wow, uh-oh, I'm listening.
So this is the same inspector that did the building inspection after the fire. And what he did tell me is that, so the fire at the cafe that burned down, that the previous owner got paid more than the value of the building for the damage from the fire. And I asked him, how much was that? And he said, I can't say any of this anymore. But, and I said, and we weren't disclosed that there was damage. He said, there was damage. And I'm like, well, we were not told that. We were told there was no damage. So he is going to ask permission from the cafe owner, who was the policy holder, to share that information with us. So I have asked for that on behalf of the county, because I feel like that's our responsibility to disclose that information. And I'd like to have a long talk with John Ray after I find out how much he actually got for that settlement, because that was not disclosed to us. And that was
When we purchased the building,
after, yes, when he received county money for the purchase of the building that he had already been paid more than the value of it. So if that, I wanna tell y'all that because I'm gonna have a very frank conversation with him if I get numbers back that I'm not happy with, because that is, I've been so honest and open with him. So I'm
well,
hoping,
Teresa, excellent.
I
I
hope,
wouldn't have even thought of that.
No.
well, it just, he said, I've been in this building a whole lot, and I said, you have? He said, oh yeah, I have pictures of all of this when the fire happened. I was like, I love those. And because then he had all the debris and everything that was in there, so he's gonna get permission to try and share all this information. And I may have spoke a little too soon, but he did say all this to me. I'm not making anything
So who's he
up.
gonna get the permission from? From the people that own
The people that
restaurant?
own the cafe who were the
Yeah.
policy holders. So, anyway, I'll keep you posted because that is a big deal to me. And I do feel like that's our responsibility when we go to sell the
Yeah, when
building.
you sell the building, yeah,
Yeah.
to the developer.
Okay, and as soon as I get the pay app, from John and all the invoices that were required by our grantor, I'm gonna submit the cold board draw, which will close our cold board grant. I'm gonna request full draw for the full amount for pay app 2 and 3. So we'll do it all as one, we'll tidy that up, it'll be the lowest cost to the county for doing the reporting and everything. But I'm gonna wait, we have to wait until the county actually pays the invoice for pay app 3.
Now, I'm wondering though, so we're going back to your request from him. You're holding a pay request because you're saying, I need documentation as to your costs so that I can get this grant thing done.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he's afraid of is he's not gonna have enough documentation to add up to what he received.
I'm trying not to buy that worry, but if he does, then we'll deal with that when it happens. But I've explained to him that I cannot approve a payment if I can't draw my grant funds for it.
Okay,
And that's been fully disclosed from the very beginning.
all right,
And it's in our contract. Emery actually has already quoted the contract information with him.
excellent.
So she's gone above and beyond. It has taken so much of our time administratively to do this communicating. And anyway, it's done. We handled it very professionally. Emery was a wonderful advocate for us.
Very, very good. I just, that's what I think that's gonna be his hesitancy. But if he knows his payment's getting withheld, That'll motivate him.
So I'd love to discuss, we don't have time, bulletin 1R in detail and bulletin 2 in detail. So if you have time to look at those, we still haven't gotten an estimate from John on what it would cost to do bulletin 2, but I think it's good for us to know what those are
So
about.
bulletin 2 in concept is the,
The outside, the void and the concrete and securing the water that's, preventing the water from
From
coming
the
in.
alley.
so is that pouring concrete on the outside?
It's doing the fill, the road mix and it's everything in bulletin 2. If you look at it, there's a plastic barrier that Jim's recommending, and there's a certain way to lay it, and there's compaction that he's requiring.
And it's for how many feet away from the building?
8 feet.
Okay,
They're gonna
the rest of it will be the developer.
Yes.
Okay, and then
Well, and
what,
any concrete on top of that will be the developer.
but is there some concrete that's gonna have to go, this void you're talking about?
No, that's gonna be fill.
Okay, got it.
Bulletin 1 is the wall, but that's this part of bulletin 1 that we were just discussing
Yep,
with
yep.
Emery. He's gonna use that ICF to put in. That's why I feel like we really need to, I wanted to discuss those, but we
And
run
then
out
what
of
was the
time.
other one?
Bulletin 1 is the retaining wall,
Well, we
the
got
west
that one.
wall, and bulletin 2 is the exterior, how to
I'm
make
with you on
that
that.
water
Is there
tight.
another one still? Is there one beyond bulletin 1 and 2?
No, not that I know
All
of.
right, very good.
But I may ask for bulletin 3 if the Myers Risk folks approve the payment of bulletin 2, then it'd be worth the county's time to pay Emory to just sort of do a bulletin 2 for the boiler room
Yeah.
securing, because, and then let John give us an estimate on that. If y'all wanna go with John, we can go with a different contractor, but, that would really secure our billing envelope.
Very good.
If
And
we-
don't get me wrong, I sound like I'm against John, I'm not.
No, I have the
I
same
just-
problems,
Just
and
if,
I've
as
been
long as
fighting
Emery
that fight.
says, yeah, this is fair, that's her role, so.
Yeah. Okay, so, the other thing about design is that we're gonna have to go, I think we need to go to the city like we did with Bill Teason, but in Emory designing the roof drains for our entire new roof, so the part
Okay.
that's gonna be done by a different roofer and the phase 2 construction roof, we're gonna be draining water into the alley. And now our part of the alley is gonna have the same issue that Bill Teason's did. We're gonna need the city to do
Another channel,
their part in that alley since it's their property. So I don't know when we need to do that, it's probably sooner than later,
Yeah.
but, I'd like to talk to y'all about that, I know we don't have
No,
time.
it needs to be done.
Okay, so I'll keep that on the agenda, we can discuss in more detail. We got the MOU with the developer done, that's really, and he's working on that, John, Bobby were part of that.
yeah, that's good.
Just for you, so you guys are thinking about this, now we own those vacant lots north of the building, we need to think about who's gonna maintain those mowing.
Get a
because
hold of
there's-
Lang, get a hold of that Lang kid.
Yeah, he's not taking any more new people.
Oh, no. Well, then maybe, I don't know who we
I
get.
think that's all I have time for.
Does it need moved now?
The front, John did on his own time and, on his own accord, I didn't ask him to do it. He so he saw that some of the dirt settled on the north wall of the building, and if you look at those lots, he fixed the drainage so that it's positively draining away from the building, and it
Okay.
wasn't, so it had settled again. And so he did that, so most of the lot doesn't have a lot of tall
Vegetation.
stuff, but the stuff closest to Main Street does. So we need
Okay.
to deal with something there.
Good.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
We did raise $4,100 RCP this morning for the playground project. So we are completely funded. So
Excellent.
thank you for your donation, Mike, and I will give you, would you like a tax
He
deductible?
he just throws the money. Here's your stinking money, here's your stinking money.
I'm gonna give you a receipt.
Well, and
Thank you for your
excellent work
support.
on this with this builder's risk thing, that is really great.
Yeah, I was pretty
Potential.
excited about that. After he talked to me about that, I'm like, okay, this is worth the time that I'm spending here. Thank you guys,
Thank
appreciate
you,
your time.
good work.
And thank you, Mike, for your donation.
All right, well, we're almost ready for public comment.
Is it okay if I sit in here and fill
Yeah,
this out?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. No, you have to leave.
Leave.
Get out of here.
All right, we are open for public comment. Is there any public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda? Going twice, is there any public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda? And going three times, is there any public comment on any public matter within the jurisdiction of the commission that is not on the agenda? Hearing none, public comment is closed.
Okay,
All right, so you've got the language for the
yep, yep,
advertisement.
it's already sent. I sent it to all you guys too. It's
Beautiful.
already sent.
I'm really glad Darcy made a big point of that. I didn't realize there were two timelines.
Yeah, but we got it. It'll be in. Everything will be good as long as it's ready.
Yeah, well, it'll be ready.
Okay.
So that was about the school budgets for Bellstone and Roundup?
No, that's about all our budgets. That's about this year's
Talked about-
preliminary budget for the county.
Yep, the ad will go in the paper on,
Okay,
it'll be submitted Monday. Well, it's submitted,
Yeah,
so it'll go in the paper next week.
and then the paper's published on Thursday, right?
correct. Well, it's published and then mailed here on Thursday and
Okay,
We get it
distributed
Friday.
and mailed on Friday. Should be received Friday.
okay. So we just need to make sure we have that thing printed and ready for people to see it on
Yep.
Friday or
Thursday, the earliest Thursday, mailed
Okay.
to receive Friday, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
well, that's good. So, motions?
I move that we adjourn.
I'm gonna second that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.